Okay, so this is June. This was a homework assignment for art school. We were supposed to, this class was about cartooning, and we were supposed to draw everything in one stroke. In other words, without lifting the pen at all. So I sat in Mom's garden and found these. Actually, these were white asters, and this is the back of one, and I drew it just all in one stroke. So you just sort of go down around and scribble along here, and then you kind of back up on yourself, but you cannot pick up your pen. That's the thing. So like this and up like that. And this is the back of the daisy. So this part is the back of it. That's why it doesn't look like your typical daisy, because it's the back. I thought that was more interesting than the front. And the petals were kind of falling off because it was an older flower. And I decided to make it yellow a few years later when I scanned it into the computer, because I knew I was going to use this in the shop and it'd be on t-shirts, and I wanted to have some contrast, so I made the petals yellow. So that's that one's called Daisy. This is one I did combination freehand and on the computer. You can probably tell. The fish, of course, are freehand, and the background is a fill from the computer, and all the fish, all these little patterns, these are fill using the computer. You just fill with a pattern instead of a solid color. And it was fun. I call it Swimmingly. Alright, we're in August. This is a very old drawing. I did this when I was 16. Just, I could tell, see, it's dated, where's the date? 1/2, and you can't see the bottom of it, but it says 1/2/78. So I drew it January 2nd, 1978, so I know exactly where I was and what I was doing. That made me about 16, and I was in boarding school. Must have just come back from Christmas vacation, January 2nd. And I remember sitting there in the dorm living room drawing this. I copied it from a book. And I love mice. I always have. It's a little field mouse. It's a little stretched out this way in order to fit the format of the calendar. But yeah, that's Mousy. This is a guitar. Actually, I drew I drew 3 electric guitars, the ones that I thought were the most popular. I drew and these, all 3 of them are on renderings, but I think this is my best one. I drew a Gibson Flying V, which I think is the most distinctive of the electric guitars. And if you watch any rock video, you will see the Gibson Les Paul. That's an extremely popular guitar. And the most popular one, I think, is this one, which is the Fender Stratocaster. And I tried to be very detailed about it. If you look closely, you can see it's a very detailed drawing. It actually goes this way. So you can see that it has 2 single coil pickups, and it's got a nice black pick guard, and then you've got the 6 strings. I tried to show that the 6, 5, and 4 were wound, and 1, 2, and 3 are not wound, but that's of course, you know, really hard to show in a drawing. And you've got the machine heads, and this is, the fill is pretty. That's another, I just used the fill tool on a silver gray metallic pattern, so that's why it comes out looking kind of black and gray. And a lot of people buy this on the mugs and t-shirts and stuff. It's interesting. Some people seem to really like this design. So I wanted to include that one. It's also in the month of September, which is significant because my favorite guitarist, Tommy Shaw, has his birthday in September. So it's Tommy's birthday month. This one came out differently than I thought, but it's called Desert Planner, and this is my favorite subject matter. I love plants and nature. And I just kind of show how these are kind of cactus-like, more like succulent plants. And you can see there's a big V right there. So that's kind of fun. And this was a doodle done around the time of art school, which would be early 1990s. This is called The Knitter. And you can see it's a lady who's just starting to knit, and you can see the yarn goes up and becomes kind of blocks of color and clouds and thought, and it signifies that she's kind of thinking about what yarn she can use and all the different colors and possibilities that the yarn holds. It's sort of imagination. But see, she's just started to knit. She doesn't have anything on her needles yet. She's just casting on and just kind of anticipating what she's going to be making. And it's in November because that's when if you're making stuff for people for Christmas, you damn well better get started in November or before. This one was actually just a computer kaleidoscope effect. I took a photograph of one of my scarves and just put the kaleidoscope filter over it, and it came out looking like this. And I just call it Silver Kaleidoscope. So that's the preview of my calendar. I might do a second one with my pet photos or just photos to have a little, people can have a choice of whether they want to look at animals or drawings. I've sent this calendar out to a few people. I might send it out to a few more. Or go buy one. Now's the time to get your calendars. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're having a great holidays, time off, rest, peace, all that stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.